Hi, I'm Chris Bakke, Customer Engagement Manager at Nasco Education. There are over 100 Artworks lesson plans available on Nasco Educate and nascoeducation.com. What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about how a lesson plan like this can be adapted in so many ways. This lesson plan is called Animated Trees. It was written by Noel Burns, and our lesson plans are developed by teachers without claiming original authorship. So sometimes you may have seen this somewhere else. This teacher developed this lesson plan in her class, for her class, using these particular materials, and then this is how she did it. But there's lots of ways to do it, and we have developed a way that you can assign it through Nasco Educate for a student, and we will give you a sheet of directions for students so that they can follow it along, as opposed to the lesson plan being written for the classroom and for the classroom teacher. So this is Animated Trees, and interestingly enough, the grade level is 3rd through high school. Huge range, right? Well, that's because it's going to be based on the level of drawing that you do. And so we all know that everybody, when they first start off, do lollipop trees, you know, a little stick and a little round circle at the top. So Noelle was teaching her students how to create trees, and using the letter V and the letter Y, which is also kind of fun. It's very Sesame Street-like. So the first step is simply going to start by drawing your tree. And you are going to make sure to create a space in the middle to animate the tree. And I got a little bit ahead of myself, because that's what makes this lesson plan so much fun, is that you're going to animate these trees. Think about The Wizard of Oz. Remember when Dorothy and the Scarecrow and the Tin Man are going to, well, it's before they met the Tin Man, they're going to go eat some apples, and the trees come alive and are angry and start throwing apples at them. Well, that's sort of the idea of animating a tree. It doesn't have to be an angry tree, though. So you're going to leave a little space at the bottom for the tree, but you're going to use sort of that Y and V. And obviously, if you're a high school student, you've probably surpassed the Y and V, and you know how to make the tree. And you're going to elaborate. Maybe you're going to pick a specific kind of tree. And the thing that I love about these lessons is that they are art lesson plans, but you can integrate art, or you can integrate another subject. So they can be a science lesson plan, they can be a math lesson plan, based on how you structure it and the assignment you give to your students. So start with the tree. I digress so easy. Next, you're going to add the face. And so you're going to talk about facial expressions, you're going to talk about eyes and noses and mouths, and how do you get a happy mouth, how do you get a sad mouth, angry mouth, and you want to put some ears on it, and then get that all set up. And then you're going to start to color it. You can use, I just use some simple materials, some crayons, colored pencil. The student can do all of it in colored pencil and use the layering effect. They can do all of it in watercolor, they can do all of it in crayon, or they can do a mix. The mix is kind of fun, particularly when you add the watercolor. So next is going to be adding, coloring it in, and then adding the background. And I giggle because this almost looks like a finished piece. I left a little bit open here to show that you can, you know, take your watercolor brush and make the grass. And I even, these watercolor brushes lend themselves to getting a little bit frayed at the ends, but it's kind of nice because you can dot it in there and create some sort of little dot and some dirt and some texture. Make sure you want to texture the trees all up, but then you're going to use the background sky to sort of create the mood. And I just think the higher level you go in art, the more sophisticated it's going to look, a little bit more visually appealing. Clearly, I'm at elementary level, but at the end of the day, I was pretty proud of my sort of, he's kind of mad, but he's also sticking out his tongue. But this is the final project, and you can then mount it or mat it. You can write a story about it. You can talk about what type of tree, what type of season, lots that you can build on. It's a great way to use the 4 C's, and I hope you try the animated tree lesson plan soon.